Hi everyone, how are we today? This is Srdan KO from Let's Chat podcast on YouTube and social media. You can also find us on Anchor TV online, where you can actually hear most of our podcasts via voice too. Now, today we are again with Sharon Morrissey from Sharon Morrissey Conflict Resolution Company that helps and works with people who have problems in their relationships. Doesn't matter if it's a family, if it's a company, if it's with a child, if it's with a partner. If you have any issues, please check Sharon's website, which is www.sharonmorrisseyconflictresolution.com. Okay. Sorry? .ie. Apologies. .ie. Oh. Okay. Now today we will talk about problems that people would have with difficult relationships. Difficult relationship can involve a lot of different points. We all go through them, and doesn't matter if it's on a personal basis, business basis, doesn't matter. If you think that certain points that you will hear today relate to you, please do work on it. Try to make it happen and see if you can improve it. Sharon, welcome.
Thank you.
I hope our viewers today they're going to be able to learn a few things about it. Mm-hmm. And let's share a few things and thoughts and ideas on it. I know that you deal and work with people on daily basis.
Yes.
And you deal with them in a way that you're trying professionally to help them resolve the issues and problems that they have, the conflicts that they have and everything. Tell me, in your opinion, what does we say a difficult relationship builds from, or what are the pillars that can make a relationship difficult?
Okay, well, I suppose that really could be anything. It usually starts something very, very small, and that's not talked about, and then it gets bigger, and then something comes on top of that, and then the tiny thing that was the issue originally becomes something bigger, and then there might be a general conversation around the issue, but it won't be about the issue at all, and it could be about letting the cat out at night, or something really silly,
taking the rubbish out, and etc.
Absolutely, but that's not what the argument is about. It's about whatever has, I suppose, grated on you, or on your set of morals or beliefs usually, and it has impinged on your sense of self and your boundaries and things like that. So that's what the issue can be about. So it can be anything from, for example, childcare, taking the rubbish out, who earns more money, who does more work around the house, who, all of those small tiny things. And I'm talking about within family context, of course. At work then it could be, simple things like about
I do more work than you.
Yes, or that perception of I do more work than you.
Yeah.
You spend more time drinking tea than I do, so therefore I have to do more work than you. But there's nobody measuring, or it's nobody's.
It's not the end result.
No,
it's usually what people see.
Perception of it.
Yeah. Tell me, when it comes to, we say we'll work with from both sides, from the family point of view and from the business point of view, or work point of view. Is when it comes to the family, and as you deal with a lot of families and with people that are family oriented, is it between, we say we start male, female, but I'm going to work basically generally on one partner and the other partner, okay?
Yes.
Why such a huge resentment comes from a loving relationship? We say you have two people with good manners, good thoughts, good ideas coming into the relationship, but then suddenly, after a while, certain things come up on the top, and they are, as you say, small things. Why did you take out the rubbish? Or why you did this? But why you did that? And then they, if they come in for a talk constantly, whatever. From your point of view, what we say you deal with mainly, or how do they portray that? He or she's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and I'm doing more of this, more of that.
It usually comes down to something like he's not listening to me when I say, or she's not listening when I say this.
Talking to the wall.
Yeah, it starts a bit like on practical terms. So, like, example, didn't put out the rubbish. He didn't know that she didn't know that the rubbish was to go out on a Monday night, when the rubbish is always going out on a Monday night. But I suppose it's the communication part.
Yeah, is it miscommunication or lack of communication?
It's both.
Okay.
I suppose lack of communication is not giving the information, right? So you're holding the information yourself, not intentionally.
That's what I was to say.
Yeah.
Can it be not intentionally, or could it be just, look, I forgot to say it, but I thought they knew about it.
Exactly. Okay. It could be the expectation of the other person. So it's back to perception, right? Yeah. So I suppose what I'd always say is that communication has to be explicitly explained.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to explicitly say to somebody, I want you to do A, B, and C, please. Okay? Because when you are not giving that information in a very explicit manner, that's what causes the problem. So is that lack of communication, or is it the perception around the communication? And
tell me,
answer those questions.
Okay, but if the person doesn't like to talk, not talk, but they think that you should know, because in a lot of couples, not just couples, business partners will have the same issue, or I thought that he knew what I want, but you can't read person's mind. So how we can work, or what we can say to the people that are watching it, that they have to understand it starts from them. It's not just from everyone. We can't blame all the time everyone. You have to understand yourself. Yes. So in your words, what would be the best way, or how can we work with somebody that have that problem, that they are not open to ask or say,
to hear?
We said first we start with to ask or to try to say certain things.
Okay, so I suppose this is a really good example of what we're trying to show, that I'm not fully understanding what you're asking of me. So I asked you the question. Exactly. Was it to ask or to hear?
Yeah.
Right? So when there is a conversation happening and you don't fully understand what is being meant by it, to say to that person, I don't understand what you're saying, asking of me, or I don't understand what you're saying to me. I think we have this idea around, if I ask, I appear stupid. And that is just so nonsensical. It's ridiculous. What is more stupid? Doing something that is wrong or is going to cause a further argument, or ask the question, can you clearly explain to me what it is you need of me?
Yes, you want or you need of me.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there is a saying, old saying, I think Plato was the one who said it, person can only be stupid asking a question at that moment, but the one who stays silent is always an idiot.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Stays an idiot, because they're going to continue, as you say, making problems,
making things, issues where there aren't,
but without actually thinking that they're making a mistake, because it's like, okay, I'm not going to be asking a question again. If I ask you a question once and then you say some things, but I didn't get it, am I going to look stupid if I ask you again?
And there's a huge fear around that, isn't there? And it's a bit like, just, I'm really good, for example, at remembering dates. Okay, so I know that the bins have to go out every second Monday, right? So therefore, I expect that my husband knows that the bins have to go out every second Monday, but he may not, right?
Because there's thousands of other things in his head.
Exactly.
At that point,
right? Yeah. So I will say, listen, come here, I'll get the bins from upstairs. Will you sort the bins out downstairs, and we get the bins out because tonight is Monday and it's bin night, right? But there's a million other things, exactly, that you're saying that are going on in his head that I have no notion about, because something has to be picked up or something has to be dropped or whatever. And unless he says that to me, Sharon, will you do this? I won't remember it. And it's not that it's on purpose. It's just we haven't communicated our needs. Yeah.
And tell me, the person that is, in a way, expecting from you to know certain things.
Expecting, right, yeah.
So this is what I want to touch on. It's like, I don't, you hear those words, and I've heard it so many times from different people, and it's like, not only for myself, I heard from them asking or saying to other people, it's like, oh, but I thought that you knew, or it's like, why do I have to say it so many times, or why do I always have to say it, or certain things like that, but they don't say it, or they didn't actually say it. Maybe they said it in their head,
or maybe they said it once,
but not vocally. You know what I mean? That they actually express that, and then they get pissed off or angry with you. How to deal with that? What is the best, easiest way?
Isn't it? Because we don't have our crystal ball, or if we do, it's a bit fuzzy on the day. And that's what I say.
Are you sure?
Yes, that's it. It's like, we're not mind readers.
Yeah.
So unless you say it, as I say explicitly, you use your words to say, and we say it to children all the time, use your words, tell me what you need.
Yeah.
And it's
but we don't practice that regularly.
We don't.
Ourselves.
Yeah,
that's
we
the
don't.
thing,
We don't do that. And that's where I think a lot of the issues happen. Really, conflict happens is because we're not expressing what it is we need of the other person.
Yeah.
And we're not expressing it in a way either outwardly, as you say, because we could be doing it in our own brain. So we're not expressing it outwardly, or our perception of how we expressed it, because we all learn differently and all hear differently, is not matching what the other person is hearing. So it's always about, okay, and this happens easier, over time. You're saying to somebody, okay, so you'll remember to put the bins out on Monday, right? And then you do the whole kind of, we need to get the bins ready, we need to do all that and get it sorted. But then there's the part about, okay, what part did you not understand
of what I
asked you to do? Or what can I do to help make it easier? Do I mark it in the calendar with a big X?
Yeah.
So because that might be a different visual way of reminding the person of, oh God, I have to do such and such thing.
But tell me then also, why do we as a humans take wrong if somebody didn't understand us? Why do we, if I say something to you, and then now I'm expecting for you to understand me, of course, and I walk away, and you didn't do it, or you did it, but on the way you thought that you understood me,
whatever, and
then I come back and I said to you again, but why did you blah blah blah, and then you turn around and say to me,
but sure I did.
But I did. That's exactly what you said to me. And then why do we take it? Not I said we. I mean the person. Why do the person takes that as now? We had the one angle of, if I ask a question, I'm going to be looking stupid. But then you feel also stupid or misunderstood.
Or angry.
That
your instruction wasn't followed or wasn't carried out. But I think that's the part where there's huge learning in something like that, isn't there? So if somebody is open enough to say to you, why didn't you do such and such a thing? And the other person saying, but sure I did.
Yeah.
There's a fantastic opportunity to learn in there. Okay, so we have a bit of an issue communicating about, or we have an issue in the way we communicate.
Yeah.
So can we sit down and can we figure out the best way to communicate what we need from each other going forward? Because as I mentioned, we all have different learning styles, so therefore the way we hear things and the way we see things are different.
Or actually doing it.
Yeah. And some people like that do the to-do lists. I know I'm a list person and I'll do my to-do list and I'll tick them off as they're done. But then some people just do the to-do list in their brain. And so it doesn't look like there's anything being done to the person on the outside because we can't see the list.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So it's about, that's a fabulous, when people come to me with that kind of an example, it's a fabulous opportunity to learn about what it is we need from each other. And the more you do that, the easier it gets. So have you clearly understood what I need from you now? Have I made myself clear?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
And if somebody doesn't understand you, I mean, they took on board your question or your thought or your asking of them, and they go and they do their own stuff. And how can we, and this goes basically to everyone, and I know that of myself, that I would want to improve that, and I'm improving it every day, that you don't get angry with the person because they didn't understand you or they didn't do what you asked them to do. Not that they didn't do what you asked them to do, they done their version of
what that was. Okay.
So how can we how can we work on that that you can improve yourself?
That's it. So I suppose I put that down to a couple of things. I put that down to kind of, number one, knowing yourself.
Yes.
Right? So my expectations of myself are completely different to what somebody else's expectations of themselves might be.
I agree.
Right? So I have to know what's acceptable for me, and I have to own that.
Yeah.
And I have to be responsible for that. Okay. And then I also have to be aware of probably the other person's expectations of themselves, like generally aware. I don't mean in depth.
Yeah, of course.
Aware,
Yeah, you can't.
aware. And I also have to understand what my capacity is and my expectations are, and am I expecting too much of that person? Is there capacity to understand what I'm saying there, or is there capacity to self-reflect there? Or am I trying to measure everybody else off of what my expectations of myself are?
And I think that's the biggest issue, is because most of the time what we do is we measure others the way we are.
We expect of ourselves, yeah.
We could be up here and the other person,
or down there,
and the other person could be on their level. And then, you get annoyed or pissed off or angry or resentful to the person because they didn't do what you were thinking or you're expecting of them.
And that's a huge issue then in a workplace. Well, it's huge in family as well, but it's massive in workplace because, you've got the whole, this is what you're contracted in to do, and my expectation of what that contract looks like is completely different to what your expectation of that contract looks like. So that's a huge one in work, but it's again, it's a huge one in family.
Now, because you see, what I'm trying, to touch on for things today is to explain that people understand that, if they're watching this, that they can say, I'm going through something like this, my partner doesn't understand me, or my partner is not doing what I'm trying or asking them to do, or they're not achieving what we were hoping for. So I want the viewers to be able to understand that if something is not working, that that they should work on it, which means or try to improve or fix that communication. At least start the communication, because most of the things are based on the communication. What you say to the person and what you're expecting from the person to say back.
And I suppose, we're great at that, aren't we? When we just start going out with somebody, we're very good at at expressing what we need and what we like, and there's this huge kind of thing of we'll go to dinner and we'll do this, and everything is going swimmingly, and then that partnership becomes kind of more embedded, and mortgages and all the children and
etc.
Exactly, and we stop communicating, or what generally tends to happen, I suppose, in my work is because you're so busy with doing the everyday things that you're actually forgetting to communicate as a partnership, which you were originally.
Yes.
So that's the really kind of...
Is that what, because listening to that now, we all pass through good and bad relationships in our life. Doesn't matter if it's a personal, a business model, doesn't matter. And this, you're 100% right there, and I agree. You start first with that good intentions, and you start working on it, and everything is good.
And you have a kind of a desired plan, a desired outcome. So in your head, you've communicated that this is our goal.
But then later on, as you say, you stop communicating that because you're expecting that person knows that, or the person is on the same page as you are.
But so many things get in the middle of that. Then there's having to keep jobs, having to keep everything running, having the childcare costs, the cost of living, the balance of power within living in a home now that there's other people in. That outcome has possibly changed 100 times, but yet you're still looking at the outcome that when you were 16 or 18 or 25 or whatever, and it's a completely different outcome.
And then you get disappointed. But this is what I'm trying to, it is the point that, I want to share that with people that understand that you shouldn't get disappointed. You should get flexible with the ideas. Okay, idea is, everyone normally strives to have certain stability, to have a good job, to have a house, to have etc. But sometimes those things happen, from different angles. So you might have a house, but not a steady job all the time.
Yes, of course.
You might have a good job, not a house. You might have a family, etc. But the point is that you have to work on it every day.
And if you're not talking about it, your expectations are changing. So yours might stay the same, but your partner's expectations changed completely. But you haven't talked about it because you reckon the idea is still the same as before.
Yes.
So there's this huge thing now about going on date nights and all that sort of stuff, and that's all really important, of course it is. But there should also be like a communication night.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Where you sit down and you go, okay, listen, this was our plan 5 years ago, this was our plan this time last year.
And it's changed.
All of this has happened within a year.
Yeah.
So where are we at now? And if things are bad, you're looking at, okay, what is it you and I as a couple can do to make this a little bit different or to change an outcome? And if that is something as simple as, yes, I know I'm going to have to work 2 hours more a week so that we can get a babysitter in to go out together for a walk or whatever, where we can have this talk and we can have this communication kind of night, for the want of, or afternoon or day or whatever, you know, that's what has to happen. Because if you stop communicating, you know, your expectations of each other and of life and everything are completely different. I think a lot of that then stems back to maybe kind of the way we were brought up ourselves and what the communication in our homes of origin, we call them, looked like, or if it looked like anything.
Yeah, like that.
And do you know, are we bringing some of that with us? And I would say from the
as a
family
baggage,
side,
And I would say a lot of
for good or bad.
Yeah, a lot of people bring that, we say, background with them when they come into the relationship, and then they're expecting that their partner is going to behave exactly the same way as
they just know.
Yeah, but how can you know?
You can't. That's my point.
It's impossible to know.
Unless you talk.
Yeah.
You have, and sometimes it's about, you could talk about it, and depending on where a person is coming from, or you know what they've gone through or what they've learned, you may have to say the same things over and over, and that's exhausting as well. Absolutely,
it is exhausting, but you see, the thing is, that is exhausting, but the point behind it is there is no perfection. There's no perfect person, there is no perfect relationship, and like everything else, there is no perfect. We say if you drive a car, there's no perfect car.
Nope. And it's got to be serviced,
and
you've got to get tires,
etc., which means you have to be constantly working on it. The same thing is with the relationship. You know, if you're not working on your relationship on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, it's going to fall apart. That's a normal thing.
I'd even suggest like that a monthly basis is too long. Do you know, because the amount of things that can happen in a month.
I would say daily to a weekly basis that you know, you discuss certain things with your partner and explain, and as you said, express your feelings that, you know, if you're happy with certain things or if you're not happy with certain things. Doesn't matter if it's a family or if it's a business.
Work,
it's exactly the same thing.
And it's what we do with our children, isn't it? If we're teaching them something, you know, and they do something good, we'll say, "Oh, well done for doing such a good job on cleaning up your toys," and you're explicitly saying what they have done well.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same. I know you don't word it as
exactly the same, yes, but
you know the principle behind it is the same.
I agree. And I think that's where we forget to praise our partner.
We do.
And it's like, you know, you come home and you're like,
you're exhausted, you had a really hard day at work, there's somebody pushing your buttons at work, traffic was terrible when you got in, kids are roaring because they're really excited to see you, or they're roaring because they're tired and they're hungry. And it's just bedlam, and you have to try and just get on with all of that. And when all of that is done, then you may have to sit down, because we talked about being an entrepreneur before, so you have to sit down, you have to do the paperwork that follows up with all of that, and you're probably still hungry yourself, and then at some point you say, "I'm out, I'm going to bed." And there's not actually a word spoken
between you and the partner, and that's it's tiring, it's exhausting.
It's emotionally exhausting as well.
More than physically, yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things, as I said, like everything, I think that you have to express that, you know, and we should praise, because one way or another, you know, I mean, if you've done something good, we say in business, you get rewards from different companies if you work with. So I think that there should be the same thing if you are working for yourself or you're working with somebody in a partnership. That you should praise that person if they've done something good.
Well, it's like a contract, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Like, if you have to bring it really back to kind of professional terms, it is a contract. So you're
in done well, with 2% on your top of your wages plus. But you know, but I think on a daily or weekly basis, it would be wonderful to remind your partner and yourself, and if there's nobody there to praise you, don't be afraid or ashamed to praise yourself.
No, for sure.
And that's one of the things that I've been really keen on, and I've been practicing myself.
Good.
As I said, because before I didn't, and it costed me a lot of things that I didn't say to myself, well done. You started this, you done this, you succeeded with that. Why
You
not?
may not have succeeded in this, but what you learned was
this and this, and well done, and it's not a failure, but you learn something. So this is where I want people that, pick up that, and praise yourself. If there's nobody else there to praise you,
you do it yourself.
Well done.
Yeah.
But I don't
We're
forget.
terrible though, Irish
We are.
people
Not just Irish
Maybe,
people. Trust me.
Exactly.
Trust me. Back home is the same. People are really kind of not so keen to praise themselves.
No,
They're expecting others to praise them more.
And that's very fleeting, I think, isn't it?
Yes,
so if somebody says to you like, "Oh, well done for getting this award or doing this or whatever," like it feels great in the moment, and you kind of, "That's great," And then 2 minutes later, you're back to doing something else.
Exactly.
So it's fleeting. So, but if you can do that for yourself, if you can say, "Okay, you started this, you tried this went well, this went well, this was really not great. However, what I learned from the piece, because you will always learn more from the piece
I agree.
that didn't go well than you will from the pieces that did well, because you won't dissect those to see why it went well. So for the piece that didn't go well, you're going, okay, so what could I have changed there?
Or done better,
And when you figure that out, that was good.
Next time. Next time.
And well done me for
sitting
sitting down and spending the time to do that. I do a gratitude journal all the time, and I find again, it's a bit like the sitting down and having the communication. That's like my communication with me. And my communication with
universe.
Gods, exactly, the higher powers that you believe in. That can be anybody. So I do that, and that is like my communication time with me. So I'm very clear on what it is I need to do.
Yes.
Or I need to work on.
To improve yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when I'm clear on what I need to do, I am more clear then about what I need.
Everyone else, yes.
And just a silly example was, I needed to be in Cork one day last week really early, and I had to say to my daughter, so we need to be up at 6 a.m. so that I can take you to Mom's, so Mom can get you to school. And she's like, "Oh, Mom," and I said, "but this is what I need you to do for tomorrow." But so she was up at 6 a.m. She's not too happy about being up at 6 a.m. But she was up because I had made it really clear that's what I needed. That's important to me, and it has to be done. Yeah. And we do that with our children, but yet we forget to do it with our spouses.
Not just spouses, friends.
Friends,
family, everyone who's close to,
colleagues, things like that.
So tell me, if you're not happy with something within the relationship, how can we fix and resolve that?
So,
or should we fix and resolve?
Are we talking about work now, or
work,
whichever?
Or both?
Okay. So I suppose it's slightly different, isn't it? If it's a work context, you're going to your line manager or whatever, and you're saying to them, "Listen, okay, this isn't working for me," so and you're working through that in support and supervision.
Step by step,
exactly. Right, so you're a process almost, which is easier than when
you're
in
personal,
right?
Yeah.
So they don't come with handbooks. That's a really good idea.
You should do point A, point B. If it's not, scratch it off.
And then, but within a personal one, I think, look at my bottom line is, if you're not happy with yourself, right? Because the way I see it is, I am the only person I am going to be spending the rest of my life with, okay?
That's true.
So if I am not happy with myself, how can I knowingly, but how can I knowingly express any needs that I have to anybody? I can't. So if I can figure out what it is I need, I can then say to you, "I need you to do this, this, and this for me, please." And it's not that it might make me happy, but it's me being able to express my needs and my wants, and that's hopefully teaching other people then as well, because it's all about in a teaching environment. Life is a teaching environment, that people are going, "Oh, okay, so she was able to do that, so why can't I? Maybe I can." And taking that time and that reflection, because I'm really a strong believer in reflecting on self, and I don't mean getting caught up in it and reflecting on every single thing you do, but if you're making a decision, like we spoke about last time, the entrepreneurial stuff, to make that decision knowingly, and to understand why you're doing it and know what you want your outcomes to be, and work backwards from that. That it's not a kind of a close my eyes and hope for the best kind of thing.
For it, I agree.
Yeah.
But tell me, when you're dealing with something or somebody and you're not happy with, you said it about we say work side of it, the business side of it. But when it comes to the we say personal side, what can we do or what we should do? Should we try to fix it, or should we just walk away from it, or what?
No, but that. Sorry, I waffled a little bit.
Don't worry.
No, my big thing is that if you're happy with yourself, you're going to be explicitly able to express your needs. If your partner is not able to meet those needs for you, because they can't or they won't or they're unable to,
or
whichever. I mean, yes, of course. If you were never, if you had no children involved, no financial commitments involved, like houses, whatever, and you were both willing at that point to walk away, that's okay. That's a decision to make as adults.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If you decide as two adults, no, actually, I think we've got something really good here. We just need some help to move on to the next step.
Yeah.
I would absolutely suggest, maybe either individual counselling, because maybe you need to figure out what it is yourself that you need, or couples counselling. And if once that's tried and you can't kind of put it together, well then, you're at a stage where
See what she's got enough.
I wonder, is it a card?
It could be. Yeah, card is full, doesn't matter. This one is going to continue to me, and I'm going to give him that one.
So then it's a stage of kind of coming to somebody like me as a family mediator and conflict resolution person, saying, okay, our relationship, our marriage, our relationship has irretrievably broken down, and now we need to try and come to an agreement about how we move forward together separately.
Yeah.
And by that I mean, if there's children involved, they're always going to be involved. I know we talked about this before. And you do that hopefully in as amicable a way as you possibly can. But again, that's down to the ability to know yourself, to have boundaries for yourself, to know what is and is not acceptable as a person.
That's one of the things excuse me, what I wanted to ask you was the boundary.
Yeah.
In difficult relationships, when it comes to it, we actually lower our boundaries, or because if it comes to that point that or we allow other person, doesn't matter if they're a friend, partner, whatever, to say or do certain things that wouldn't be accepted on a certain norm, but you accept them because, not that it's normal for you, whatever, but because you think that it could be just a moment, it could be this, it could be that. So why and how can we improve the boundaries? How can we basically, or what we should do to make maybe that positive change for ourselves to say, no, this is enough. I've taken certain things on board. Mm-hmm. I understand your point or your unhappiness or your anger or whatever, but you can't treat me like this. You know what I mean? Because I can take so much to this point, but I can't take certain other things over. Yeah.
And look, I think this has kind of been the thread that has run through everything today. It's about belief in yourself and your self-worth.
Yeah.
And your self-esteem. And would you treat somebody the way you are being treated? And if the answer is no, well then that has overstepped a boundary in my view. And this is just my personal view.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we teach our children to, treat others as we'd like to be treated ourselves. And if that's not happening as an adult, well, number one, what is that showing our children if our children are still living with us? But number two, it's about, I have the respect for myself that you clearly don't have for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowing this anymore. And they can be really hard decisions to make and really hard conversations to have. But at the same time, the overstepping boundaries on a continual basis is not a good place to be in a relationship.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Because it borders on really kind of emotional abuse. And
to the point, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not okay. That's not okay for anybody. So that is something I would be very mindful of. But it is about knowing yourself. But there's a lot of back work
that has to be done,
with that
of course,
to get you to the point where you're saying, not acceptable anymore.
You see, the one of the issues with that is a lot of people try different things in a way, like, you know, you're trying to save something. So
which is good. That's really good. I'm all for that. Like, you know, there's no kind of throwing in the towel. You know.
But and I agree with that because I know, like, you know, from my own background and everything else, and I've been working on myself, improving myself all the time. Nobody's perfect.
No.
And you work on yourself first. But a lot of people are afraid to do that because it could bring something out that they don't want to bring.
Trying to hide for years.
That they're trying to hide it, yeah. So, you know, and it's like you have to, if you want to make the change, you have to start from yourself first.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what kind of relationship you're in. If you're not happy with it, you know, see what you, as you say, see what you want. See if you can improve yourself. See that you're not actually opposing certain things onto your partner, business partner, personal partner.
Yeah.
That you're not, you know, that you're not maybe the one being in wrong.
Yes, of course. But then again, as I say, there's a huge self-reflection piece on that, isn't there?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You have, and that's really hard to be able to say, yeah, okay, that was
it's
me.
My fault.
That,
yeah, actually,
that was
it's
all
me. Yeah,
that was all me. That's very hard to be able to do that. It's very hard to be able to acknowledge it in your own brain, number one.
Yes.
And the second thing is to be able to verbalize it and say to your business partner, your life partner, that was me. You know, I am sorry, I own this. But I mean, as I said again, like, you are the person that are going to be stuck with you for the rest of your days. And like, even if you look medically at the moment, like, there's huge numbers of people on antidepressants and all sorts of things.
Yes, they are, yeah, which is...
So they're not happy with themselves. So, and yes, environmental things, of course, you know, and for different reasons. But, you know, if there's work done on trying to support yourself as a person, well, then you're going to be of more use to yourself, therefore more use to your life partner, your work.
I agree, yeah.
You know, so, but there is a massive amount of capacity required for that, and openness, you know, and sometimes that's just too hard for people.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and that's where you're looking at definitely getting more supports, you know, like mental health supports and things like that, because sometimes that is a can of worms that you're not going to be able to open on your own.
Yeah, it takes time for certain things, but that's the thing that a lot of people get annoyed with when you say it takes time. You know what I mean? And like everything,
we expect it to be instant now.
As Warren Buffett said, he was like, you can't impregnate 9 women and have a child in 1 month.
No,
it's not happening.
For sure. Yes, for sure.
So, you know, it takes those 9 months for a child to grow and be a person. Same thing.
And that's just a person. Then you have the rest of your life to form that person.
You can't start 9 different relationships to be thinking, oh, I'm gonna be happy with one. You can't do that. Or you work on one and, you know, build on it, work on it, or you know.
And the most important one to work on is the one with yourself.
Yeah, that's the most important one. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, you know, we can't be happy. You know, if we're not happy, nobody else is gonna be. So we need to make ourselves happy first.
Because what I see a lot of is that, so if I'm not happy, and look, this is taking years and will continue to take years.
Yeah, of course,
you know, this is a work in progress, as I call it all the time. We seek out somebody to be the life partner that is going to fill the part of us that's missing.
Yes.
So, because it's not a part of us, it's filling it, but yet there's a void, there's a piece that's still missing. Yeah, of course. So it's like doing a 1,000-piece puzzle and you're missing 5 pieces. And then through other things, you're trying to find those 5 pieces somewhere.
Yeah.
That's kind of not possible, do you know?
Yeah.
So whereas if you can be that 1,000-piece puzzle and you're meeting somebody
to be an add-on part.
Exactly.
Nothing else.
Exactly. To be, you know, kind of a quality add-on to your life.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that there's going to never be problems. Of course there is. We're people. Like, you know, there's always going to be issues.
Mood swings, changes, situations, etc.
Jobs, you know, there's the economic situation, there's like that, you know, we spoke about the entrepreneurial stuff last week, having a wage this week, not having a bob the next week. Do you know what I mean? Having to budget, having to manage, having to hold all that stress in your head. Like, there's just so much stuff being thrown at us now that we have to try and manage, that of course there's going to be communication issues.
Yeah, of course.
But once we can keep talking about it, and that's the part we're forgetting though, we're forgetting to talk about it. So we make plans from way back, and we don't follow, like, the plans inevitably won't work out. Like,
they change. They have to change.
Yeah, my mom says you can make plans, but you can't plan an outcome, which is fabulous. Yeah, so it's great to have a goal, but being okay when that goal changes or shifts.
And now that's exactly what I want to say, because in my opinion, what happened to me so many times is that you plan one thing and they fall apart because not fall apart, they actually change.
Yeah.
They move to another direction and everything, but you should be okay with that because we're not trees, we're not static.
No, we can move.
We can move, we can change, we can do certain things for ourselves and for others around us. But as you say, we go back to the point of we have to be happy. So,
and we have to be very firm. I think we have to really firm up on our own boundaries and know what is acceptable and not acceptable for ourselves, and then we're far clearer on communicating what our needs are.
Okay, so to conclude on that, basically what we were trying to say today is that if you do find yourself in a position, we're going to put it like that, it doesn't have to be a relationship, situation or position where you are unhappy with whatever is going on around you, you need to work and fix yourself first. That you are happy to be wherever you are, and then be able to, as we said, communicate well to others what you want them from them to receive back.
Yes.
That if it is a relationship, if you want to change certain things, if you want to improve certain things, check from yourself first. Start from yourself first. See what you need and what you bring into that.
And be open to receiving what they're going to say to you.
The feedback.
Yes.
And a lot of people are not happy with that.
Yes. But, because a lot of people will take that as, oh, this is my chance now to tell him exactly what.
Yes, exactly. I agree with that.
But then that's where your boundaries come in.
Yes.
That's where you're clear about, okay, that's my piece, yeah, for sure, that's mine. But that bit isn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
So work on your boundaries, work on yourself, try to be happy. Happiness is pursued. You're always pursuing it because it's never
fleeting.
Stopped position. You're always trying to improve, trying to find out happiness, be happy with yourself, improve yourself, work on yourself, and then you can ask from others certain things to do in or within the relationship. And if you're not happy with something or somebody, please do talk with them first. Try to resolve issues, yourselves first. If not, go forward to, hopefully, as Sharon was saying, personal counseling or group counseling.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work on the end of it, don't hold a grudge. Don't be angry with the person. Shake hands. Wish them best of luck. And
I suppose inevitably you're going to be angry for sure. There's going to be a level of angriness, but at that, because there's an angriness around the loss of all of these plans you had.
Yes, that's what people are usually angry about.
Yeah. But again, once you're working on yourself, that kind of starts to break away a little bit. Yeah.
So I hope that you learned a few things today. I hope that you picked up certain things. Even if you picked up one thing that can make you better and change your outcome, we done our job.
Yes,
we hopefully. If you have any questions, please do pass them on to us. We'll be sharing this video on YouTube and on the social media. So please do have a look. If you have questions, please ask, and Sharon and myself will be more than happy to answer them.
If there's something that you don't like about what we said, we'd love to hear
please do, feedback is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're looking forward to it, and I'm open to anything. Anyway, we wish you best of luck. Wonderful day.
Great day.
And hope you enjoyed it. Wish you best of luck. Srdan KO from Let's Chat Podcast.